It's Wednesday, November 28th, and I'm your host, Paula Hersey. On today's show, we get a glimpse of the fields of dreams at Barnstable High School. Our Channel 18 intern nails his first event, and we raise our rakes in celebration for our shellfish volunteers. Let's start with some news you can use. For those residents who haven't made the switch to separating your recyclables, in the past 2 months, your time has come. Starting December 1st, all recycling bins at the transfer station will be for separated corrugated cardboard, mixed paper, tin, and aluminum and glass. Here is a reminder of the categories and the proper way to keep your recycling streams clean. A public hearing on proposed changes to various permits and program fees within the town of Barnstable was held on November 8th. Fee changes will take effect on January 1st, 2019 for Community Services and Marine and Environmental Affairs Division and were adopted by the town manager on Friday, November 23rd. They may be viewed on the town website at www.town.barnstable.ma.us or in the town manager's office from 8:30 to 4:30 p.m. located in Town Hall, 2nd floor, 367 Main Street, Hyannis. If you build it, they will play. Barnstable High School athletic field upgrades are underway. Engineering has been ongoing in November and construction will begin in the spring. We're here today with Dave Cognac, Facilities Manager for Barnstable Public School Systems, and guess what, kids? The new fields are getting ready to be redesigned and construction may start in the spring.
That's correct.
So Dave, walk us through. You've made some minor changes to the plans since we've seen them last.
Right, so right here, this is a rendering of the initial master plan for our fields project. And if you take a look at this and take a look at phase one in particular, phase one was the dark green section, which is a varsity baseball field with a multi-purpose field inside, and new stands and concession stand with additional parking and what have you. After looking at this design and discussing amongst ourselves, the athletic department, other coaches and users, we realized that we needed to modify a little bit and adjust things. So what we thought we might do is that this design really didn't lend itself to spectator viewing, and we thought that it would be much better if we were able to somehow rotate this field and get a sideline somewhere parallel to some stands, so that during a soccer event or a field hockey event or what have you, the spectator experience would be much better. So looking at that, looking at the topography, we decided that we had bleachers here that were traditional aluminum bleachers with an elevated press box, and we thought, gee, if we were able to kind of reorient things and move the press box back here farther, we could take advantage of the topography and have a more friendly and word I'm looking for is more efficient design, so that we could take advantage of what we have. So when being more cost effective, we can show you what we did here. This is our progress print, and it show where we are now with our design. So as you can see, we moved everything back a little bit in order to accommodate moving the field, and we moved our grandstands back into the hillside, and back here we have an elevated area. And by moving the bleachers back into that elevated area, into topography, we eliminated the need for an elevated press box. The press box will now have accessibility and will be a grade, which is a nice cost savings, because now we don't have to deal with the lift and that maintenance. By moving things back, it gave us a little more area for the field and allowed us to rotate that multi-purpose field so that the sidelines were parallel with the first baseline, which will allow us to have nice spectator seating right here, and we'll be able to utilize our portable stands to get the spectators to that spot. We also had moved our concession restroom area back here on top of the hill, which really will give people a nice viewing space from what we hope to have as a picnic area here with a pergola. So we'll be able to be at this area and look out onto the field and have a view of the field. And likewise, phase two, we are going to kind of reorient our varsity softball team with home plate being over here. Currently, it's back here in this corner. And having this complex here will allow people also to have a nice sight line to that field as well, and sit up here and enjoy the concession stand when they're at a game. So, and the shade. So they are the major changes here to the layout.
So minor cosmetic changes resulted in cost savings and efficiency and better viewing for both fields.
That's correct. That's correct.
Excellent. Fantastic. Let's go out to the field.
Okay, very good.
So the field has been staked. What does that mean? Is construction imminent, or you've got a lot of I's to dot and T's to cross before you get started there, right?
Right. Well, it's a start. So we have everything staked for our geotech work, which will start probably at some point this week or definitely next week. We're waiting for DigSafe to come and DigSafe the property. Then we will have a geotech company come. They will take borings in areas where we need to place footings, just so we can determine what the soil samples are there. The soil looks like there, so we know how to design the footings. We'll also dig some pits, some test pits where the field is going, and that will help us determine what the drainage needs to look like. We'll do some percolation tests and do that. Once we have completed those tests, we need to do some permitting work with Concom and with the health department to make sure that our facilities are meeting their requirements, and also make sure that the Concom is satisfied with our construction and gives us a permit to move ahead with what we're going to do, because we are in close proximity to a wetland just over here.
Right, that vernal pool is over in this area as well.
There's a pool. Yeah, the vernal pool's over there, and then we have a pond over there. So we just want to make sure that we're in compliance there. After we get that work all in place, we'll also be at a point where we'll have our specifications complete, and we hope to be out to bid in January. Select a contractor by early March, and do a groundbreaking in March and get rolling for the spring.
Right. So the spring sports, there won't be a whole lot of teams displaced. Primarily the baseball team?
The baseball team, the varsity baseball team, will be displaced. This is their home field behind us. So we're looking right now at alternate plans, either an off-site field, or we do have the option of still using a field here. We could use our JV field and make a varsity field out of it. And right now the athletic director and his staff are looking at options. So you know, they need to deal with the logistics of it. So you know, whatever they need to do, we'll accommodate them.
Right. Well, you say if you build it, they will come. What are you going to do with all the parking?
The parking is, it sounds like a lot. We have about 80 spots on the new plan all along the road here. If you've ever been here for a home game, believe me, that we need the parking, and it'll fill up quickly. We'll probably utilize a couple spots for maybe food service. We're thinking about maybe bringing food trucks in for big events and what have you. So it'll go quickly. We need to have a handicap parking. There's not nearly enough now, so that in itself is important to have, and make sure we have enough of that as well.
Right. And let's talk a little bit about field surface. So you talked about getting it perked. This is for drainage, because this is a new type of field going in.
It's a synthetic turf field, similar to our stadium field, and when they construct a synthetic turf field, kind of think of a green on a golf course. You just need to have the drainage below it so that it drains properly, because it's really important. One of the reasons you do synthetic turf is to have a playable surface in any kind of weather. So even after a major downpour, say an inch or two of rain, you'd like to be able to play on that field as soon as possible. And if you've got the drainage right, it will drain properly, and the field is much more playable. Right. In all kinds of conditions, so that's why. So we want to make sure that we have adequate drainage, and the field's always available to play on.
Right. So when we talk about projects like this, you know, there's a lot of moving parts. How do you keep all of this together, Dave? You're really busy. You have an incredible amount of projects, but this one's a very large one. How do you keep it all together and make sure everybody's notified of what's going on?
Well, we work with the town architect office, and they help us with project management on all of our large projects. So, of course, in this project, we'll enlist their services. There's myself, we have a deputy director, and then also we'll have the field designer involved. So between that team, there are a lot of moving parts, but you know, we keep it together. And again, the town's always very cooperative too, and we you know, as long as you get out there early enough with your plans and get all the approvals in place with the Concom and the health department and those folks, it usually goes fairly well.
Excellent. Anything else you want folks to know about the project?
No, we're very excited about moving ahead with this project, and you know, I'm sure that once it's complete, the public and the students and our athletic teams are going to be thrilled with what they have. So we're looking forward to get rolling.
Excellent. The construction trades on Cape Cod are looking for a workforce to grow their building businesses. Our Channel 18 intern, Seamus Shropshire, has the story.
Hi, my name is Seamus Shropshire, Channel 18 intern and Barnstable High School student. Students from area high schools learned about employment opportunities at the Construction Career Day at the Barnstable Fairgrounds this past October. They participated in hands-on activities and spoke with local woodworking and landscaping businesses. Here are some highlights from the day.
I look back to when I was their age. I had no clue what I wanted to do. I wish I had things like this.
Seems to be a lot more focus with kids going into the trades now than it seems like there ever was.
Whatever you decide to do, just go into it with a positive attitude.
All this in there? All right, sweet. I didn't want to be standing in the way or nothing. What we're doing is we're performing a service and we're making everyone's life better.
So what we're doing is we created a rough opening for a window install, and basically giving the kids an opportunity to take an Anderson window and install it into this rough opening. You know, having this venue, having it come out, have some fun, taking football, you get 3 tosses through a window. I don't even know if I could do that, you know?
I am a freshman. I will be graduating in the year 2022. I want to work to be an architect when I'm older. This event gives great opportunities for people that want to do things in that field.
Sean Michael, Upper Cape Tech. I actually became more interested in solar panels than I thought I would. It was really interesting.
We really try to engage young folks. We have some internship programs. Again, we're really heavily invested in training because we understand there's a lot of kids coming into the industry that have not been in it before.
I feel like it's benefited me because I was a landscaper before and I was working part-time, and now I'm working year-round and making more money, and I enjoy what I'm doing. Going through, I've been able to be Mr. Handyman around the house for kind of anybody, yeah.
Thousands of oyster and quahog seed, dozens of volunteers, and hundreds of hours. These are the ingredients for a successful shellfishing season in the town of Barnstable. get to thank all the volunteers that work with you season after season. How gratifying is it?
It's so wonderful. I love them all so much. This is great because, you know, when we're in the field, we're working really hard and it's like, okay, go do this, you go do that. And, you know, it can get a little hectic. But this is, I get to actually enjoy their company and we get to chat and, you know, be out of the waiters, real people to people. They're just such a wonderful bunch.
First time I went with Liz Lewis, who does a fabulous job. Tom and all the people here do terrific jobs. And we seeded an area over on Haney Point. It's just a fascinating job. And it's really not a job. It's an activity for the afternoon where we plant 250,000 seeds for future harvesting with the town of Barnstable. It's just a great activity.
I was a teacher for 40 years, so I'm used to working with kids. I had 7th graders, which everybody shudder at, but you know, if you love kids and working with them, it's great. You know, whether it be cleaning for kids or as a teacher or my winter job, I'm always involved in kids and trying to make them smile. I like them to see the results of our efforts when they come away with a bag of clams or they learn something new and so forth. Again, teaching something to somebody, adult or to child, it's always good.
I think it's a great opportunity to help the shell fishing program. Without the DNR and the volunteer efforts that support it, shell fishing in Barnstable and probably on the Cape wouldn't survive. So these efforts are really necessary to keep this wonderful recreational fishery open.
I feel as though I'm doing a lot of good for a lot of people. We've helped a lot with planting little quahogs, and we've put in several 100,000 with the DNR. So it's really been a fun thing.
Thank you all for coming, my lovely volunteers. Give yourselves a round of applause. This is an awesome time of year. You know, I like that we do this right before Thanksgiving because I am very thankful for all of you. As we are moving through years here and we're trying to do more and more every year, you guys are absolutely wonderful and have been there to help me every step of the way and help this town. So thank you so much. Give yourselves a pat on the back. To give you a rundown of what you guys did this year, which is huge. This is the most that I've ever seen. 96 volunteers this year. Whoa. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. Putting together 510 hours. Yeah. Thank you so much. That's a lot of time. We planted 1,782,000 quahogs under 111 nets. Wow, that's a lot. Wicked awesome. But this is what I really like. Okay, are you ready? 473 bushels of quahogs were moved this year. Wow. That's a lot of digging. And what I think is great about this is that there was one day we were out there and we were digging and we were way too efficient. Okay, we have 18 bushel baskets. We dug 18 bushels in less than an hour. Oh, wow. So I literally had to go plant that, come back to give you guys more baskets because you didn't want to leave. And then eventually we called it because I said, well, you guys can't stay, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here, right? So then I left you at Bridge Street to do whatever you want to do. All right, anyway, yeah. So 473 bushels went around. A lot of that went to the clamming classes, which we really can't do without you. You know, having that one-on-one to get new, especially kids, to get kids into shell fishing, to get them out of their house, into their backyard, seeing what's in the ocean.
Off their phones.
Off their phones, right? Using more than just the thumbs. And you guys all helping to teach that new generation. We also have started to do adult claiming classes because you guys have come out in numbers, and there's a lot of adults that want to learn too. Those adult classes, we had over 70 people at each class. So we saw over 200 adults at those 3 shellfishing classes. And think about how many bushels you had to dig just to support that at Bridge Street. So awesome job. Thank you so much. I cannot dig 400 bushels alone, so thank you. You guys are amazing.
It's the opportunity for the residents of the town to harvest seafood. And it gets them connected with the town, and they feel a part of the town. And then I think there is a better attitude on the part of Barnstable citizens about the whole town and what goes on in the town and why we pay taxes, quite frankly. It helps support natural resources.
How important is recreational shellfishing to the town of Barnstable?
It's super important, and you can see that by the number of people that we have come down. The first weekend, opening weekend, we had over 700 people come down to go shellfishing. And I think it's a favorite pastime here. It's a tradition. People have been doing it for so long, and I think it's better than it's ever been. People love it, and you can see all this love in this room because we all love shellfish so much.
I do the seeding, I do clean outs and help move the clams around. I kind of like 2 parts of it. I like the seeding part, and then I like it 2 or 3 years down the road when we come back to that exact same area and we're doing a clean out and we're seeing these clams that were like 1/4 inch in size, and now they're legal or bigger, and you're scooping up by the rakeful, and it's just so awesome to have so many clams there. Not to mention that when you're cleaning out the new ones, you find an occasional old one that's like the size of your fist.
But it's just very, it's very satisfying. Again, when you put a rake down and you pull up half a dozen quahogs, and it's like, whoa, that's great. Yeah.
It opens up a whole new world to you. It does. And you become involved in an activity that you can get involved with on your own personal schedule. I happen to be retired, but if you're not retired and you have a work requirement, there are days that you can still do this, and you have a new activity in your life. And it's a fascinating activity, and it's an enjoyable activity, and it's a worthwhile activity. So all of these reasons, if someone is not involved, again, you don't have to be knowledgeable. Everybody will help you. They'll explain what you have to do, and then you just enjoy yourself. I can't emphasize that too much. I probably said that word often.
Volunteer. It's real rewarding. It's a great group of people. Plus, it's a lot of fun. You get to see some new areas that you might not normally get to. And other than that, get out there and dig clams. Have a good season.
Here's a look at the community calendar. It's not too late to get your flu shot. The Town of Barnstable Public Health Division will hold a flu clinic at the Hyannis Youth and Community Center on Thursday, December 6th. This clinic is open to all town residents, and the fee just $3. Comments, suggestions, accolades? Connect with us on Facebook and Instagram, email us, or send us an old-fashioned note by carrier pigeon. Channel 18 works for you. I'm Paula Hersey, and thank you for watching Barnstable Today.